Did you get a new Instant Pot and you're looking at the thing like, what in the world do I do with this? And you're left wondering, how do I use an Instant Pot? Well, I'm here today to teach you how to use your Instant Pot. I'm Kristen from A Mindful Mom, and I love my Instant Pot, and I want to make you fall in love with your Instant Pot too. Today I'm going to break down the basics of the pressure cooker so that you can feel confident to start using it. The first thing you need to do is take this owner's manual and toss it. I know that seems extreme, but the owner's manual leaves a lot to be desired. It often confuses people and doesn't explain things really well. So let me explain the things for you. The second thing you need to do is hit subscribe. Every Sunday, I'm in my kitchen sharing recipes and tips that are geared for the Instant Pot, and I'm happy to help answer any questions that you may have and help you fall in love with your Instant Pot. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. And the third thing you need to do after you watch this video, do the water test. I know you're thinking, what in the world, a water test? And maybe you've heard people talking about water tests. Basically, all it is it's a way to get you familiar with your Instant Pot. I have a video, I have the link up above, that will walk you through step by step on how to do the water test. It's super simple, it will only take you a few minutes, and it will let you feel really confident that you understand how your Instant Pot works. So even though it may sound silly, don't skip that step. And now let me break down the pieces and the parts of the Instant Pot for you. I have an 8-quart Instant Pot here and a 6-quart. I also have a 3-quart, but I mainly use my 6 and 8-quart. The 3-quart is just a little bit too small for my family. The first thing I want to show you on your Instant Pot is your lid. This is going to sound a little bit silly, but the lid can be a little bit hard to get on and off at times. On your lid, in between close and open, is an arrow button, and there's also a little arrow on your base of your Instant Pot. You can line those up, and then your lid will close easily. If you ever struggle to get your lid closed, take it off and look underneath and at the inner ring. This is the inner ring on your Instant Pot. It comes on and off to be cleaned, and if it's not securely put back on the lid, it can be hard to get the lid back on your Instant Pot. It also may cause your Instant Pot to not seal, so make sure that you always have that inner ring sealed well on your Instant Pot. The other parts of your Instant Pot here are the shield valve, and that just protects the little knob on top of your Instant Pot from getting any food or grime in it. If you flip it over, you have your vent knob, and you'll hear this referred to a lot. You move your vent knob back and forth from sealed to venting position. The sealed position is for cooking under pressure, and venting is for releasing pressure. There's also a little float valve. You can see the bottom here, and on the top, it's going to be the little pin that floats up when pressure is reached, and when pressure is released, the float valve will float down. It's also the locking mechanism on your Instant Pot. To keep all that pressure safely inside your Instant Pot, that float valve pin is not going to let you open your lid until pressure has been released. Now, inside your Instant Pot is the inner pot. It's just a stainless steel pot. You can purchase another pot if you like, which is great to have on hand if you're making a lot of yogurt, or you can get a ceramic insert pot as well. I just have one stainless steel insert. That seems to be enough for my family. You also have a little trivet that your Instant Pot may have come with. This is just a metal rack, and it's to be used to be placed inside your Instant Pot to keep food above liquid or to use pot and pot cooking method. Now that you know the pieces of your Instant Pot, we need to talk about what you can cook in your Instant Pot. The Instant Pot is fabulous for cooking amazing chilies and pot roasts and beans and rice. It's not so great at cooking meals that are done super fast on the stove, like a stir fry. It's not great for things that are breaded or you want crispy. It's not good for baking cookies. It's not good for anything with high dairy content either, as it may curdle under pressure. So I have a video that'll walk you through what not to cook in your Instant Pot, but basically you want to avoid things with high dairy that need to be crispy or that are super tender cuts of meat, like a steak. Now that you know what to avoid, when we talk about what to cook in your Instant Pot, it's great for things like I said, chili and pot roast and beans and rice. You always want to make sure that whatever you're cooking has enough liquid to come to pressure, because you need liquid to come to pressure, and you need thin liquid. So sauces, salsas, they don't count towards your thin liquid. You need things like chicken stock, vegetable stock, juice, water, wine, beer, things of that nature. And you want to make sure that your liquid is either at room temperature or cold. If you use warm liquid, it will change how long it takes for your Instant Pot to come to pressure, which will change the cook time. So you may think, but my Instant Pot's going to come to pressure faster if I use hot water. It will, but then whatever the cook time was for what you're cooking will be way off. So always, always, always start with cold or room temperature liquid. And you also want to make sure that you never fill your Instant Pot more than 2/3 of the way full, or more than half the way full if you're cooking something really starchy like beans or rice. Once you have inside your Instant Pot what you're cooking, you want to put your lid back on. And then you want to make sure your vent knob is pointed towards sealed. Sealed is really important because that's going to seal in the pressure. And unless you're using the yogurt or the slow cooker function, you need pressure to be reached. So always make sure your vent knob is pointed towards sealed. And then you need to set cook time, which, it may be a little bit overwhelming because there's so many buttons on the Instant Pot. And trust me, it's confusing, I know, but I have a video that breaks down all the functions in details and tells you when to use what and when not to use functions. But basically, the only function that you really need to remember is cooking under pressure, which on the 8-quart is pressure cook and on the 6-quart is manual. It's a fancy way of saying you're cooking under pressure and you get to control the time. And trust me, you want to control the time because the Instant Pot has no way of knowing if you're cooking a 3-pound cut of meat over a 1-pound cut of meat. So if you hit meat, it's not going to know how much meat is in your Instant Pot. So it's just going to give you a rough estimate time under high pressure, and instead you can control that on your own. The other functions I use are saute to brown up meat or to saute some onions, and I use my yogurt button. Now, to set the cook time on your pressure cooker, on your 6-quart, you're going to hit manual, and then you'll see that pressure button is lit up under high. You always want to cook under high pressure unless a recipe states otherwise. To change the pressure level, you would hit pressure, and it would move it down to low pressure. But because we always want to cook on high pressure, I'm going to move it back up to high pressure, and then you use the plus or minus buttons to adjust to the cook time. For the 8-quart, you're going to hit pressure cook. Make sure that your pressure level is adjusted to high. If not, hit pressure level, and then use the plus or minus buttons to adjust the cook time. Once you set cook time, it'll take anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes for your Instant Pot to come to pressure. This is based on how much you have inside your Instant Pot, elevation, and if it's frozen or not. My recipes give you an estimate amount of time that it takes to come to pressure, but that's something to keep in mind when you're planning dinner, to account for the time it takes to come to pressure, so you can plan accordingly. Once pressure has been reached, your float valve will float up, your lid will lock, and cook time will start to count down. After cook time has elapsed, the pressure cooker defaults and goes to keep warm, which just means it's keeping the contents inside warm. It's a great feature. Now, your float valve is still up, your lid is still locked, pressure is still reached inside your Instant Pot. So a recipe will either tell you to do a quick release of pressure or let it natural pressure release, which means to let the float valve come down on its own. The float valve is the little pin that pops up, and you can release pressure manually by hitting your vent knob from sealing to venting. It's really important to only do that if you're not cooking something with a lot of liquid in it or meat that would get tough. If you release pressure right away, it could cause your meat to seize up. So I avoid using quick release of pressure anytime I'm cooking anything with a lot of liquid or meats that I want tender, or something with a lot of starch, as that starchy liquid would spew out the vent knob if I tried to release pressure too quick. So I also then account for time it takes for pressure to be released, which is anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. But a recipe will or should state if you need to use quick release of pressure or natural pressure release. And that's it. That's all there is to cooking in your Instant Pot. My best suggestion is to right now go and do the water test. Test out your Instant Pot, get comfortable with it, and then make something easy, like a fluffy baked potatoes. Baked potatoes turn out perfectly in your Instant Pot, and it's super easy to make. I have a video that walks you through it, and you'll be amazed at how quickly a pressure cooker makes an Instant Pot baked potato. And for more recipes and tips, or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, drop a message, leave a question below, and I will try to answer them as quickly as possible. And until next time, happy cooking.